Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I thought a good video for today would actually be to tell you my go-to colors for my Savage Seamless backdrop rolls that I keep in my studio at all times. So I have a Fotoconic 6-roll electronic system, and I have it in my studio so that I can easily switch backdrop colors throughout my sessions without taking a lot of my shooting time. Before I ever had a studio or a backdrop system, I used to shoot everything in my living room, and I would literally roll up my rug out of the way, move my sofa to the back of the living room, move out all my kids' toys, and set my backdrop stand up on the floor in my living room. And that is how I shot every session. And because I use the 107 inch, which is basically 9 feet wide, I use a 9-foot wide backdrop roll. It is really hard to change those out all by yourself during a session. So I was limited to only being able to have one color for my entire session. So that obviously limited the outfits we could do and things like that. So the number one thing on my list whenever I got my studio was to get a backdrop system. That way I could have a mounting system that could have multiple backdrop rolls set up on it at all times so that I could just roll them down. Now, if you look them up on Amazon or any photography gear website, you'll see systems that work differently. I got the electronic one by Fotoconic. I ordered it on Amazon. There's also a manual one by Fotoconic where it just has a chain that you pull up and down that unrolls the backdrops and rolls them back up. However, I wanted the electronic system because I just wanted it to be a smooth and seamless process during my sessions that just gave it a more professional feel for my clients during their sessions. So I'm definitely glad that I got the electronic system. However, the manual systems can work just fine. I know tons of photographers who use them in their studios. So I got the backdrop system, and they have a 3-roll option and a 6-roll option. I wish they had a 10-roll option, to be honest, because I would 100% use it. But I got the 6-roll system because I wanted as many colors just always mounted as possible. So I wanted to just quickly go down the list of my go-to colors that I keep on my backdrop system in my studio at all times. Now, I do change a couple of them out because obviously I use more than 6 colors, but the ones that I have up there are the 6 that I use the most often. So I have a couple of honorable mentions at the end, but the top 6 that are on my backdrop system right now in my studio are Coral, which is a baby pink, and Evergreen, which is a beautiful kind of teal green color. And then I have my favorite gray, which is TV gray. It actually used to be suede gray, and for all of you longtime photographers, you know what I'm talking about. Suede gray was my baby. So TV gray is the closest substitute that I have found to it so far. So TV gray is what I use for over 50% of my sessions. It's a beautiful gray. It's not too light. It's not too dark. It's not too cool tone. It can definitely be edited more warm when you need it to be. And then I have Mocha, which is my favorite warm neutral color. It's a tan color. And I also like Pecan, but I don't like it as much as Mocha. So Mocha is the tan neutral that is on my system at all times. And then I also have Primary Red, which is a beautiful, beautiful red. I use it so often in my sessions. And then I have Tulip, which is like a hot kind of fuchsia pink. And then the other two that are not on my system right now, but that have been on my system several times are Tangelo, which is my absolute favorite orange by Savage Seamless. It is a beautiful tone. It photographs so gorgeously, and it looks good on pretty much any skin tone I've ever photographed it on. And then Chestnut. Chestnut is my absolute favorite brown. Savage Seamless makes several brown and tan colors, but the Chestnut to me is the absolute most beautiful, rich brown that you can get. It photographs beautifully for deep skin tone. It also photographs beautifully for any skin tone, but if they are wearing a very chocolatey brown outfit color scheme. So those are my top 8 colors. So I can only fit 6 on my backdrop roll, but those 8 are the ones that I use the most. So the Tulip is the pink that gets chosen by all of my clients who love pink, because I do have Coral, which is a baby pink, but I also have the Tulip, which is the hot pink, and that's what everybody tends to prefer. So if you're looking for a pink to add to your studio backdrop lineup, I would definitely try Tulip first over Coral, because depending on how you light it, it can be a lighter pink, but it can also be a super dark, rich, hot pink, and you can't really get that from coral because it's just too light. So if I had to choose one pink, it would be Tulip for sure. And then of course, Tangelo, like I said, is just so beautiful if you want a really punchy session, if you want a really colorful, bright session. Tangelo is the most beautiful orange that they make. There are a few other oranges they make. One's like a more burnt orange, and I can't remember the other one, but Tangelo is the most beautiful tone of all the oranges that they have, in my opinion. And then, like I said, the TV gray is the absolute best gray I have found that can go both cool and warm, both light and dark, and I'll show examples of that in here. But basically, depending on how you light TV gray, it can be really, really bright and airy. It can also be really, really dark and moody. It can be really cool tone and go to the blue side, and it can also be pretty warm tone and go toward the like beigey warm gray. It is an absolutely beautiful color. It's the most editorial gray that I have found. So TV gray is definitely the one I recommend. It is harder to find in your local camera stores. So for those of you who don't buy Savage Seamless very often, most of your local camera stores will carry some of the most popular colors, but some of the colors that are not popular, they just don't keep in stock. So you'll have to order them on Amazon or from Savage Seamless directly. And when you order the 107-inch rolls, I like them because they're really wide, and so it's less editing for you because you're not having to fill in the sides as much. But when you order those directly from Savage Seamless, the shipping rate is outrageous. So if you can find them on Amazon, that's your best way to go. You'll just have to check your rolls when you get them because very often they are bent. So you have to, it's tricky. You know, you get the cheaper shipping on Amazon, but sometimes they don't take care of the rolls as well. So I would definitely say get as many colors as you can at your local photography store, but then if you do have to order them online, just be sure to check the rolls as soon as you get them so you don't miss your return window if you do have to send them back for being damaged. I recommend the 107-inch rolls because it is a lot wider behind your client, which means you can pull them further away from the backdrop without running out of backdrop space on the sides of them. And especially if you're zooming out to 24, then you'll definitely want as wide of a backdrop roll as you can get so that you can have the ability to zoom out without running out of backdrop space. So that is the width that I recommend. I did used to shoot with some 86 inches. I just find the 107-inch much better. It is less editing for me, and it's only like, I want to say $10 or $20 more expensive than the 86-inch. So the cost is definitely worth it to pay just a little bit more and get a lot more width to hang on your walls or your backdrop stand. So the colors that I mentioned, Mocha is a pretty common color. So a lot of camera stores probably would carry it, or they would be able to order it in for you. But I have ordered it on Amazon before several times, and I've always gotten it without any issues. So Mocha and TV gray, if you could only pick two colors to add right now to your backdrop color lineup, I would definitely do TV gray as your number one and Mocha as your number two. The reason I love Mocha so much is it can make all skin tones look warmer. So it just kind of adds a little richness to the skin tone in your sessions. And it is not too light and not too dark. The pecan is on the lighter side, so it's hard to get it dark and moody, but the Mocha is a little bit deeper in tone to begin with. So although you can turn your light more onto the backdrop and make it a lot lighter, you can also turn your light down more toward the floor and make the background look a lot darker. So the Mocha is a really, really great option for when you want to have both darker sessions and lighter sessions in that rich warm tone. So that is definitely hands down my favorite warm toned neutral backdrop. The Evergreen is an absolutely beautiful color. When I am doing my chiffon on maternity clients that's kind of blowing up in the air, blowing, my hand gestures crack me up. But you know, when you're throwing chiffon up in the air on maternity clients, there is a beautiful, beautiful emerald and teal metallic chiffon that I get from OKC Fabric Market. I will also link them below. They have the most amazing metallic two-tone chiffons that are beautiful for maternity draping when you're throwing fabrics in the air and letting them fall really pretty. But anyway, they have a really beautiful emerald chiffon and a teal chiffon, and I layer those two together. I'll show you an example here. I layer those two together and they are so perfect for the evergreen, and I get a ton of clients who love that color and request it a lot for their maternity sessions because it looks good on both ivory, super light skin tones, and it looks really good on deeper olivey brown skin tones as well. So teal and emerald green look good on any skin tone if you think about it, and it just photographs beautifully. So evergreen is my only kind of jewel tone color that I keep on my backdrop system, but I use it a lot and it photographs really beautiful, as you can see from the examples. And then coral, I just recently added coral because I did do a shoot where we wanted a really soft, light baby pink color to go with all of the florals that we had in the set, and I'll show an example here. But coral was absolutely beautiful. And then I had another branding client who baby pink was her overall branding color. So I decided coral would be worth investing in anyway because I've had a few clients ask me for kind of a baby pink, pastel pink color. So I finally added it to my lineup, and I will say I do love it. So primary red. That is one of my absolute favorite colors to shoot with. You'll see examples here. I love shooting on my primary red because it can be a really, really punchy, like fire red. And then if you turn the light down off of it a little bit more, it can be a really deep kind of blood red, and it is really beautiful both ways. So you could only add one color to your backdrop lineup. I would definitely make it tulip, or I would make it primary red. So for those of you who don't know, I now offer online courses. So if you hop on my website and go to my education tab, you will see 3 different signature courses on there. And now I have a bundle option as well. So if you want to learn all 3 of those courses, you can purchase them as a bundle and save yourself $100. So I would definitely suggest looking at my online courses if you are a photographer on your journey and still always wanting to learn more. If you're wanting to get into studio work, that is what these courses are most useful for. Those who are beginners in studio work or just wanting to start studio work and you haven't even tried it yet, the courses are definitely helpful for that. My lighting course teaches you how affordable a one light setup can be, and it teaches you how to use it. It teaches you 5 different lighting looks just with that one light. And then my fabric draping course teaches you 5 different ways of using fabrics on your clients to create beautiful, dramatic, Vogue inspired looks on them. And my editing course is the ultimate guide to backdrop editing. It shows you how I edit my backdrop sessions from start to finish and how I use sorcery sauce, but then tweak it to make the edges of the subject and what they're sitting on look more realistic. So if you are newer to editing studio sessions and you have a hard time editing your backdrops, that is definitely a course that you want to look into. And all of them are super affordable, so I hope that you will check them out. I also do live workshops. I do virtual workshops for those who are not local to Oklahoma City. And I do one-on-one mentor sessions, both in person and virtually. For those of you who are not local, we do them through Zoom or FaceTime. But I just love teaching all photographers who are on their journeys and wanting to improve their studio work, because I know when I really learned a lot about studio work, that is when my business really kind of skyrocketed, and I was able to create the business that I loved and actually shoot what I loved. And I still do it to this day. Now I have my big fancy studio, but I started in my living room. So I always say that it is never too late or never too early to start learning studio work. If it's something that you love, you can definitely make it a reality. So thank you so much for watching today. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that you will go and check out some of these backdrop colors. If you do end up getting any of them and shooting with them, I would love to see what you shoot. Please send me DMs on Instagram or contact me through my website. My email is on there. And tag me in your pictures when you post them. I would love to see what you all create with all of these beautiful backdrop colors that I've gone over today. I hope that you guys have a lovely day, and I hope that you will be back on to watch my next video. So until then, I will see you later, guys. Bye.